me for the YouTube subscribers. Well, subscribe already. Hit the fucking like button and subscribe before I knock your ass out, man. I ain't fucking with you, man.
UFC London back quickly to the UK, guys, after a successful card back, what was it, about 6 months ago or so, not too long ago. Some of the best fans in the world are over there. Definitely excited for this card. Should be another big card. Tons of UK fighters, tons of European fighters in general. We'll be looking at the main card like usual, guys, providing breakdowns, free picks, leans, and maybe what to avoid, or at least what I'm avoiding from a betting standpoint. Guys, like this video. It helps me out a lot. Comment, share, let your friends know, let your cousins know. Help get that algorithm going for me. It is much appreciated. It's all I ask. It's all I ask from you guys. Systemsportscapping.com if you want the complete client card for this week. It should be a fairly large client card for myself. You receive all my personal plays though on all sports. So whatever bet that I'm betting personally, you will receive as well. Start profiting long-term on all sports, guys. Start profiting long-term on all sports. Records over on my website, client comments over the years, packages, even a resume, etc. System capping on Twitter, on Instagram as well. Growing on Instagram. I've been getting lucky. Some guys have been reposting. I've been tagging, like I tagged Juan Soto, for example, in I won the home run derby on him, plus 600. He reposted. I got a bunch of followers from that. And just, paying for promotions, getting UFC fighters to promote my page, etc. So growing there in the Instagram world. I got free plays over there, guys. I got weekly updates on all sports betting content, and sports news in general. Let's do a recap. UFC Long Island recap. Not the best card. We were on a nice run in the UFC. They always come to an end, right? We had some bad luck in the Ortega fight, right? Can't really, fault, I guess, my side for that. I thought Ortega would eventually find a submission in that fight. He was trying to get him to the ground. His shoulder popped out. Tough. It happens in MMA, right? It's going to happen at least 2 or 3 times throughout the year. Hopefully you're on the other side. Unfortunately, we were on the Ortega side there. I was very excited for that fight. I wish that fight played out, but it did not. Maybe we'll see it again. Maybe we will see it again. I did hit some free winners and leans on the video, but overall from a betting standpoint for clients this week, not a great one. We did have Tate. Tate didn't show up. That was her last chance at a run to the title. She's not going to get it anymore. So that's kind of the factor I played in there. She was coming down. I didn't think the strength would be as much as an issue. It was. She wasn't able to get Laura Murphy down to the ground. That was the main issue there. And she got caught. She got a bad cut or a bruise under her eye, which didn't allow her to do things on the feet. And Shore, I was on Jack Shore, all by prop. I'm not laying that price. We were both on decisions on both those at plus money. Smaller units, no full unit plays there. But yeah, I was on the Shore side. He didn't get there. Ricky Simone, very surprised how well he looked. He looked really good. And it wasn't with his wrestling. He caught him with a big shot. So Ricky Simone is the real deal, guys. Big win, right? Shore was undefeated. I thought Shore was going to be the next big thing in this division. He still could be. He's still young. But very impressive win from Simone. Weekly update. Let's get into the weekly update. UFC, guys. UFC 123.68, 65% long term. This is very long term, guys. Shorter term, 68 and 32. That's 68%. Unit-wise, plus 58.1 units. We did lose a few units last week. However, another profitable week for clients due to the PGA. Big major once again with an outright winner. Cam Smith, as you can see here on the winning ticket. Plus 2,500 on Cam Smith. Perfect course fit for him, and he showed out. This was a great fit for him. It doesn't ask. Yeah, it's a course that asks you to putt, right? Be a good putter, and it doesn't ask you to be accurate in the fairways, and that's what he's great at. He's not the greatest off the tee accuracy-wise, so when that doesn't matter, he's a great guy to attack. Also profitable prop market. That's 6 majors in a row that we have been profitable in the prop market. 65% best bets long term, guys, and over 74 units in the prop market. MLB, no bets on the regular season. However, we did hit Juan Soto home run derby for a smaller unit at plus 600. Here's the winning ticket. NHL reminder. NBA reminder. And of course, the NFL reminder. NFL is around the corner, guys. I'm excited. You should be as well. I'll be joining most of the Vegas tournaments this year with a client. Looking forward to that. Hopefully winning one of these big tournaments in Vegas. Not the easiest, but I do have faith. Let's hear from my friend Meredith before we get into this card.
Guys, Meredith Gorman here, and are you still not subscribed to Matt's channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
Shop around for the best prices, guys. These aren't the best prices. This is just graphic prices. Shop around. Prices may move. Have multiple books. I always advise this to you guys. I don't know how many times I can advise you. Have multiple books and different accounts. I have books all over North America. Main event, guys. We are at the main event. To start off this card, it's Blaydes plus 115 versus Aspinall minus 135. First time, fun fact, Blaydes has been an underdog in a fight. Definitely some value here because there are still a few unknowns. And how good is the matchup for Aspinall? Aspinall may be the real deal, though, guys. And they're pricing him as the real deal. If you do really like him, it's a good price. You can bet this straight. And he's not too far from a title shot, right? If he wins this fight, one more win, he's getting a title shot. He didn't even think he was going to move this fast. He even would mention and time again in interviews that he doesn't want to rush, but he's rushing, guys, because he's winning big fights, and this would be a big win for him over a top 5 guy, and he should probably get the winner of Gone and Tuivasa, right? And then winner of that would get a title shot, in my opinion. He seems to have it all. Very well-rounded. His ground game, which we haven't seen a ton of, is very high level, obviously due to his father. He always does mention it. We just don't see a ton of it. His boxing is great. Very fast. Doesn't move like a heavyweight, right? He's going to be able to be quicker than Blaydes on the feet. Blaydes maybe have the more power, but Aspinall is going to be quicker on the feet. If this fight stays on the feet, Blaydes could be in trouble. Big question here. The main question here in this fight is Aspinall going to be able to keep it on the feet? That's how it's going to play out, right? And if Blaydes does get it down to the ground, is he going to be able to handle the higher level jiu-jitsu as Aspinall? You don't see heavyweights with very high jiu-jitsu skills in most cases. Some, yes, but I can't think a ton off the top of my head right now. So Blaydes, when he gets it down to the ground, can Aspinall work off the back? Can he even keep it standing, right? Is Aspinall going to be able to keep this fight standing? I don't think it's going to be as easy, for Blaydes to just take him down in this fight. I do think he's going to have to really work to get this fight down to the ground. And, if this fight does stay standing, I like Aspinall to be able to handle zone. But again, it's a heavyweight fight. Aspinall stresses time and time again. It's a heavyweight fight. Anyone can get knocked out, and that is true. That is true. I have this fight, on this fight from a side step point, I'm leaning Aspinall. I'm leaning Aspinall here, and the price isn't too bad, right? You get the home fans. He's fought in front of the home fans before, and he shined in front of the home fans. So I'm not too worried about, the pressure. I'm not too worried about that pressure factor here because he has done it before. That's why I laid off the first time that he fought here. I did not bet it due to that, due to the pressure. I think this fight, even if I do have a play on Aspinall from a betting and a client standpoint this weekend, I'm going to be also active in the live market. If I see Blaydes, being able to take down Aspinall fairly easy and kind of keep him there, I might jump on Blaydes in a live market to kind of cover myself. Now, Aspinall hasn't got out of the second round. That's also something to keep in mind here. We saw Blaydes fight 5 rounds before. Okay, so if this fight does get, second, third round, I'm going to start favoring Blaydes, right? This is a Blaydes-style fight if he can continue to get the fight to the ground. Realistically, I don't think this fight's going to go all 5 rounds. I think there will be a finish at some point. And, I'm going to lean Aspinall finds a finish here on Blaydes. It's just, how is me, no one could tell you. Even Aspinall can't tell you. Is Blaydes going to be able to work the wrestling and take him down and hold him there? You don't know until he's on top of you, right? So from a standpoint of not seeing Aspinall, refusing takedowns, I haven't seen a ton of it, right? We haven't seen how good his takedown defense really is. That's something to play. That's going to play a factor here. So we're going to have to look at that, right? We're going to have to factor that in, not to rush to Aspinall, bet the house on him, right? Due to a few concerns. I do have a few concerns here. Blaydes is going to be the better wrestler, yes, but is he going to be able to keep him down there for a type of ground and pound finish? And is he going to be able to avoid a submission from Aspinall when he's working off his back? There are a few questions here. That's why this may not make my client card. The things I do like is, fight not to go the distance. Definitely like that. Maybe under in rounds as well. But I'm leaning Aspinall for video purposes. It may make my client card after weigh-ins. Remember, client card doesn't come out until after weigh-ins. So I'll be looking Aspinall's way. Is it going to make my client card? I don't know. If you want to look at it, get some more value, you can maybe find the finish on Aspinall and get that plus money. It's a very intriguing fight, though. Blaydes does have a path, and it's to wrestle. Is he going to be able to take down Aspinall, stay out of submissions, and keep him there? Is the big question in this fight, in my opinion. If it's a stand and bang type fight, Aspinall's going to catch him eventually and hurt him, in my opinion. So let's see how it works out. I think the game plan for Blaydes has to be to wrestle. So if he's just trying to get the takedown, he's going to get a takedown eventually. How is Aspinall going to be able to get up? Is he going to be able to work off his back? So questions here. I lean Aspinall. Fighting at home should be an advantage for him. We'll see how that plays out. Excited for this main event. Co-main, Hermansson minus 110 versus Curtis minus 110. Curtis saved the day once again. Taking this fight on short notice. A guy I love to back. I love to back when he's fighting, guys that are, mid-tier guys that he's usually fighting, right? He's not fighting a guy at this caliber, which makes me a little hesitant here. Jack has a ton of big fights and spots like this, well-rounded. But the difference here is his wrestling and his great cardio. Curtis usually does have great cardio. He's able to expose other guys later into the fight, second or third round. Hermansson has great cardio, probably better cardio than Curtis. Right, we've seen Hermansson fight multiple 5-round fights. So I do think Hermansson should be able to use that here. I do think Hermansson does have the wrestling advantage. However, we have seen Curtis have great takedown defense, guys. And I lean probably Curtis on the feet. Hermansson's going to continue to come forward. We have seen Hermansson get hurt in fights before, knocked down in fights, but he usually recovers and gets up. We've seen it in the Vettori fight. Vettori's not really known for his power. He did get hurt in that, I think it was first or second round, but he got back and he was able to show his cardio and his skill set in that fight, even though Vettori did win it. One other thing here, even though I'm leaning Hermansson, this won't make my betting card. What I do like, though, is maybe the fight to go over 2.5 rounds. That's something I'll definitely be looking at and could make a 2-fight round parlay for me this weekend. But Strickland beat Hermansson. Strickland trains with Curtis. There's going to be some reason why Curtis jumped on this fight, right? Obviously, he got paid double for this fight, but Strickland beat him, and there is a path to beat Hermansson to keep the fight on the feet. So if Curtis is able to keep this fight on the feet, which is very possible because we've seen good takedown defense from Curtis in the past, Curtis can win this fight. It's a flip of a coin for a reason, but due to the short notice, and due to, Hermansson, kind of needing a win here, and it's a big step up for Curtis, I'm leaning Hermansson. Is this going to make my betting card? No. But I do like the 2.5 over. Definitely be looking at that 2.5 over here. Paddy Pimblett. Yes, he is back, ladies and gentlemen. Paddy Pimblett, minus 260 versus Leavitt at plus 210. Jordan Leavitt, he's just very tough to fight against. He's very awkward. That's why you're seeing this line not crazy. Pimblett minus 260. We've seen him in his fights, obviously leaving his chin out there, some concerns getting finished or whatnot, but we've shown his toughness too that Paddy Pimblett has, and we're not worried about Jordan Leavitt hurting Pimblett on the feet because he has zero power and his striking is terrible. So what I think Pimblett's just going to come forward and press the fight, which should be in his benefit. Leavitt, we know he's good on the ground, not high caliber wrestling, but he does have some wrestling, so he probably could bring down Paddy Pimblett, but I don't see a crazy Pimblett's, keep in mind, his striking's not his best weapon. It's his ground game. So, I do think Jordan Leavitt has great defense from what I've seen in fights. Very awkward to fight. But, Pimblett should win this fight. I'm going to have action on this at minus 260 for sure. Probably 2-fight parlay. I'm also probably going to have a small unit play on the finish here. It's just what Pimblett fight. He loves fighting in front of big crowds. The crowd's obviously going to be on his side. Jordan Leavitt's never been in a situation like this. He's used to fighting in, Apex, etc. And Paddy Pimblett also is a little angry going into this fight. Jordan Leavitt's downplaying his skills, thinks he could beat Paddy Pimblett. I just don't see anywhere where he could beat him. No power. Paddy Pimblett's a better striker, and Paddy Pimblett's not known for being a great striker. Ground game is probably similar from a BJJ standpoint. Maybe Leavitt has a lean on wrestling, but he's not a strong guy. He's not going to be able to keep Paddy Pimblett down. I just don't see a path for Jordan Leavitt to win this fight. I don't really see it. The only way would be like a boring decision. And in England, where he's from, Paddy Pimblett, if it's a close decision, they're giving it to him. So I just don't see a path for him. Obviously it could be a little bit overhyped, Paddy. I'm going to watch the scales because we know how Paddy Pimblett likes to balloon up and then cut. So it's not going to be on my client card as of yet. Like I mentioned, I don't sell my client card until Friday after the weigh-ins. But as of right now, I'm going to be on Pimblett. It's going to be a client play. And I'm going to look at the TKO. Leavitt does have some good defense. Okay, he does have some good defense, so he could avoid the finish. But I am going to be on the Paddy Pimblett side in some capacity. Krylov minus 190 versus Gustafsson plus 160. Plus 160. Don't love the price here on Krylov, even though I am going to lean his way. It's an interesting one here between two vets, right? We haven't seen Gustafsson for 2 years. Red flags from me from a betting standpoint. When I see a guy 1.5 years, 2 years, 3 years off, I like to fade him or not bet the fight at all. Right, so this is going to be probably the fight that I'm going to avoid from a betting standpoint. Krylov, his first rounds are usually unbelievable, and then he kind of fades. So if Gustafsson could avoid a first round finish or avoid any damage in the first round, he has a chance to win this fight, of course. Krylov's obviously coming off a tough loss where he dominated Paul Craig, but the IQ was horrible. You're gonna continue to jump on Paul Craig and being in his guard. He's going to find a submission. Keep it up on the feet. Hurt Paul Craig on the feet, which you already did. No, he decided to stay on the ground and try to beat him up and get a TKO finish. Not smart. So I can't bet on a guy that does no fight IQ like that. And Gustafsson, we don't know what he's going to come back with. So we'll see. This fight's going to be not on my radar. It's not going to make my betting card. I'm leaning Krylov due to the long layoff on Gustafsson. Obviously, Gustafsson's resume is a lot better. He's fought the best of the best. Usually loses when he fights the best of the best. 3-fight losing streak. I just don't like that time off. I don't know what he's coming back with after 2 years. Obviously, he fights at a good training camp with Chimaev, etc. We're in Sweden, but I got to lean Krylov here, but this is not going to make my betting card, guys. McCann, minus 400 versus Goldy, plus 310. Molly McCann lives for these spots, right? She lives for these spots, fighting in the UK, coming off a big KO finish versus Goldy, who I just don't think is that great. OnlyFans, she's a mom. She's busy in other things. One foot in, 1 foot out, in my opinion, of the UFC. I like to fade those type of girls. She had a nice submission win over a very low level girl. So I'm not going to look at that too much. And she probably lost that first round, to be honest. Molly will bring the fight to her. She'll bring the fight to her, will attract the judges if it does make the judges. And she's fighting at home, so it makes the judges' scorecard. She should win and get her hand raised. Goldy, She's never been finished in her career, and Molly, is coming off that TKO finish. KO finish with that crazy elbow. Yes, some luck there in that type of strike. She's never had any other finishes before in her career. So, I do think this fight does get to the judges' scorecards, and, McCann just shows the pressure and shows the better boxing on the feet to get the win here. I do like Molly McCann, minus 400, very difficult to bet. But it could make a 2-fight parlay if I do like someone in the minus 100s to parlay it with. But I'm going to lean McCann by decision. If I can get a good small plus money on it, I may look that way. But yeah, this is a perfect atmosphere from McCann. I got to ride her in this type of situation. I'm not high on Goldy. Fight that's opening up the main card. Paul Craig, plus 140 versus Oezdemir, minus 165. Finally, a bit of a step down for Oezdemir. Listen to some of his competition, guys. His resume, just brutal. Cormier, Smith, Reyes, Latafi, he won. Got a little break there. Rakic, he won, kind of close fight. Yuri Prohaska, the champion. And then Ankalaev. That's his resume. Okay. All the killers in the world, right, that he gets to fight. And then, yes, he does lose to most of those. He did beat Rakic. Good win. Close fight. But Craig, step down here. Just be smart. Don't be like Krylov. Be smart. Keep it on the feet. Craig's not known to getting fights down to the ground, guys. He has to be awkward to get the fight into a submission position. He is not known to getting this fight to the ground. His striking is not great. Oezdemir has power in his hands. Going to be the better striker. So if Craig isn't able to get this fight to the ground, which I don't expect him to, he should win this fight. If it gets down to the ground, yes, Craig can find this submission. In my opinion, Craig's only path is to win by submission. There's no other way, in my opinion. Oezdemir should be able to hurt Craig on the feet. And if he can avoid being taken down and getting submitted, right? Is Craig going to have 5 submissions in a row? Pretty much losing all those fights, came back, found a submission. The odds are low, in my opinion. So I do like Oezdemir. There are some 150s out there that I'm looking at books right now. This may make my betting card for clients, guys, on Oezdemir. Due for a win as well. He's getting killer after killer after killer. It makes sense for Paul Craig because he has all these wins. It just, all these submission wins going to continue? Is he going to continue to find these submissions? Like I said, he's not a great wrestler. I don't think he's going to be able to just bring Oezdemir down and keep him there, even if he does. So yeah, I like Oezdemir. I do like him to find maybe even a finish. You can get that at plus money. But I'll be looking on his side. That will do it, guys. That will do it. I'm excited for this card. Should be an earlier start time, Eastern Standard Time, so look out for that. Big card. A lot of good fights. I'll be on some prelim fights as well for clients. So head over to the systemsportscapping.com if you would like to join and get this card. That will do it, guys. Like I always say, bet smart and know your limits. Take care.